Thank you so much, and blessed are you, cherished listeners, for participating with me in this program. I trust that you've downloaded the previous topic and you will download this too. This is a topic dear to my heart. It's been 44 years of prayer, research, meditation, contemplation, asking the universe, asking the questions that nobody probably would dare to even think of. I want to know what it is that compels a man to do wrong. Sometimes against your own better judgment of what is right and wrong, you end up doing wrong. What is it? I asked the questions. I got the answers. It was precisely 1973 that I came to the awakening of my purpose. And you might have heard me say several times that I'm the God of liberty. Liberty means freedom. I'm here to free humanity. Humanity from what limits them from being their highest and their best for themselves, so they can experience inner peace. I always put it this way, that I'm the God of liberty, here to liberate the will of men from servitude of the senses and birth the essential noble person in all. I do this by being a pointer to the potential in people and catalyst for its growth. This was 1973. And now, it's about 44 years now. The Peace Manual had been in creation for about 3 years, maybe say 4 years, because it's been going forward and back. It came out as a manual about 3 years ago. Started traveling to Malawi and then to the United States. All my friends, my students here in Ghana, Malawi, United States, traveling for editing, polishing, and so on. And it will interest you that today, the Malawi students worked on a piece. Dr. Chiwoza decided to present this material to his students in Malawi so they can also think of ways of birthing peace. So my purpose started somewhere 44 years ago. It was, I believe, before my 21st birthday, that I'm here to discover the human problem, to find the human problem and the solution to the human problem. What is it that makes us do wrong? What is it that makes us want to hurt one another? What is the cause for all of the confusions leading to wars and conflicts? And today we have the solution, and it is in the book, The Peace Manual. I will encourage you to download it. Please download The Peace Manual from our website, worldpeaceinaourlifetime.com. worldpeaceinaourlifetime.com. I believe some of you might have been there already. It's so simple a website. Download. And I also encourage you to sign our petition that we want the international bodies to make use of this manual. So please sign that book as well. So the question that people always ask when I talk about world peace in our lifetime is it possible for us to have world peace in our lifetime? My answer is absolute yes. You see, world peace in our lifetime is a call or an invitation for you to do all you can to experience peace within you and to promote peaceful existence and leave a legacy of peace for your children, your children's children, and posterity. And if we shall get just 1/10 of humanity agree to do something about peace in their lifetime, if they don't even know what they are to do, but they agree that I want to do something, and they start initiating the steps to do something, if we have 1/10 of humanity doing it, the soul force and of the energy of peace that they will generate will be enough to tip the planet towards peace. The reason why I know that world peace is a reality is because at the core, irrespective of your race, creed, or culture, peace is already with you and it is seeking to burst out. Deep within you, what you desire is peace, love, harmony, and righteous cohabitation with your peers and mates and community members. So it's already within you. It is seeking to birth itself. The inner confusions occur only when you are not allowing that which is to express itself fully. The war is happening because there is an internal battle in you due to the lack of the knowledge on how to give the peace that is shouting and screaming in you a physical voice, a material voice, a human voice. Give peace a voice for its expression. If you've ever desired peace for yourself, for your children, or for somebody else, it means that is your nature. It is your nature crying to burst out. Just give yourself the chance. In fact, the call for peace in our lifetime is the invitation, therefore, for you to live at your highest and your best. So it is in your own interest to say, yes, you have a choice to focus on the atrocities, the cruelties, the war, the confusions happening in the world. You have the choice to focus on this so that you say, well, I give up. In fact, every foolish person knows how to give up. There's nothing special in giving up. But you have the choice to focus on the atrocities in life and give up. Then you will live in misery. You will live in fear. Walk into the doom of the future you have created with that choice. Or you can choose to believe in the possibility of world peace in our lifetime and then ambitiously engage yourself to do something about it. When you choose the latter and you choose to do something about it, your soul will begin to sing with you because your soul's desire is this peace that is always knocking at the door of your heart. It's already there in you. Every step of the way, as I write, I meditate, I contemplate, and I document ways of peace, I am in greater joy. Today, I feel so accomplished. I feel so fulfilled that, to be honest with you, it sometimes frightens me. It frightens me that when a person feels this fulfilled and accomplished, then probably I may even exit this body and go, because it's like I've finished my work. I said I will find the human problem and the solution. I didn't say I will take it to everybody. I have found it. I have provided a solution. I have launched the manual, and the other works needed behind it, I have created the systems to make sure that they become possible. All we need is the resources. On our website, you can also donate for this peace program. I've been doing this teaching with you for so long, but now I'm asking you, donate for the peace program, because we need to have the funds to maintain the website itself, funds to employ teachers, that means educators, psychologists, anthropologists, scientists, app developers, and storytellers. We need this breed of people, and all these are on the website. If you are having some skills in these areas and can donate, we want even poets and musicians and so on to help us create the programs. We know what to do. We need the resources, both human resources as well as financial resources, to make it happen. So the choice is yours if you are going to give the peace you feel within a voice. Give peace a voice. Who can compose a music with this? The music that will say, give peace a voice, it is already singing in your soul. Give peace a voice, it's already crying in your soul. It is knocking at the door of your heart and saying, give me a chance for expression. So you can choose to give up, or you can choose the latter and then experience peace within. Because deep within, peace is what you desire. Deep within, your soul knows peace, and anything that is not in harmony with peace, I want to tell you, is simply a pretense. Because your soul knows peace. Thus, it sinks with you the moment you start walking the path of peace. You are in joy and you are moving towards your innate soul's desire. It's like you are, every step is like you are stepping closer and closer home to yourself. It's a beautiful world. I feel a beautiful world of peace within. And the vision of peace that I have is that of a unified world in which everyone is a catalyst that is activating and promoting the innate good in one another. In that world, we are in competition to do good. When you see anyone, you want to call for the good out of the person into expression. We now learn ways of doing that. How wonderful will that be? In that world, if I see somebody doing something good, I'm so empowered to support the person, to promote it. I want to speak about the good that people are doing. Today, one Bob on the Facebook shared a message about, it goes something like this, that it's been 30 years when I have lived with my beloved. He started sharing about how things have gone so beautifully, how they've learned from one another, how they are in each other's pockets, and they've learned to be kinder, gentler, and more generous with one another. It's very beautiful. And this is totally different from the usual, I've lost my mother, so you want somebody to pity you or send you some sympathy. I've lost my car, I've lost my cat, I've lost my dog, and all this on Facebook. What are you focusing on? Today, it is news when it is bad and slanderous. And you can choose to focus on the bad news and sink, because when you focus on the bad news and on the atrocities happening, you are weakening your own psyche. You are developing or planting negative emotions in you, which will cause disease to your physical body. This will also cause interference with your mental activities. Thus, you experience reduced creativity. Creative people are busy in their work. They don't have time to focus on all of the errors happening in life. So, to choose the former is to be at war with yourself. That is, choosing to focus on the atrocities and giving up is to be at war with yourself. You'll be fighting your own soul's innate desire. You become, therefore, a virus that is eating you up for yourself. You become your own virus eating you. You are imploding into yourself. I choose world peace in our lifetime. And in my lifetime, I have seen the Cold War between the East and the West dissolved. In my lifetime, I have seen the Berlin Wall come down. In my lifetime, I have seen apartheid dismantled. In my lifetime, I have seen a man of color in the White House. In my lifetime, I have seen grassroots movement using social media to topple governments. And in our lifetime, you and I can come together to topple ignorance and redirect the course of civilization towards the celebration of our diversities in oneness. This possibility is also with us. You have a choice to partner with me in this possibility, or to give up and say, will world peace happen? And you will tell me, no. I'm happy many are saying yes. And I invite you to join me in the yes to world peace. And yes means you go to the website, World Peace in Our Lifetime, download the manual, it is free, and donate if you want. There's no obligation. And sign the peace manual so that we can have the numbers to speak to the international communities, especially the United Nations, that you are the biggest peace treaty body on the planet, and you need to take a lead by using this manual. The material in it is so simple, but applying and implementing them across the globe requires some logistics support. Now, so let's today talk a bit about the holistic solutions. And I'll therefore be speaking about the 3 interventions that we need. In our last study, last Tuesday, I talked about the need for us to have a vision. And once again, let me speak. Is it not strange that we all want peace, but nobody is sitting to give voice to the images of peace you feel within? Are you drawing it? Are you writing it? Are you making a poem out of it? Are you speaking it? Nobody knows what really peace is like. And I gave you the keys that you must keep asking yourself, what world do I want to have? What is the world that I want to have for myself and for my children and my children's children? What is the community that I want to have? What is the nation that I want to have? That will help you to start giving voice to the peace that you feel within. Because deep within, you want a beautiful world. You want it. And it goes further even to you yourself. What is the me that I want to have and experience and celebrate? So I encourage you to keep asking this question and coming up with the answers. And on my Facebook page, World Peace in Our Lifetime, please go there and post your ideas of what you believe world peace is like. When we are living in the world of peace, what is that like? How does that look? How does that smell, taste? What is the sound of that world? What is the texture? It's like, it is a world like golden droplets of baby laughter mingled with the happy laughter of mothers, and like golden rays of baby laughter in droplets of gold. Oh, what a beautiful world that one is. Describe yours so that every moment you are stepping into it. To me, it's a world in which we are passionate about calling for the good out of one another and promoting the good in one another. Thus, we're celebrating one another. We honor the gifts everybody brings. We do not work so much at trying to understand people. We simply working to help people's life become better. And whatever you bring to the table, we will celebrate. We will be passionate about the gifts each of us has, and how my gift can complement and support your gift, and how your gift can support and complement the other person's gift. When we live such a life, we will come to a place where we shall be in competition for goodness. It will no more be a competition for who has the best military armaments, who has the ability to destroy more. It will be who has the ability to evoke more love, to do more good. That is the superpower world that we are creating. And I share with you that the three things we need are vision of world peace, character of world peace, and then, primarily, we also need to school our senses for world peace. So the World Peace Manual is basically teaching you how to do these three things. How we can have a vision of world peace and calling us to start creating it. It gives you a proposal of what world peace is like, as I've just given to you, and also gives you the opportunity to start developing your own. You know, to do this, we need anthropologists so that we can have age-specific, culture-specific stories that will help humanity find or develop this vision of peace. Once the vision of peace is very enticing and appealing, then we can enroll humanity into it. If we don't know where we are going, we shall arrive nowhere. But once we know where we are going, we will begin to enroll humanity. And soon it will become like the language of everyone. My world of peace is like we have the global vision of peace, and then nations key into that global vision, and then people in the nations will key into their national vision of peace. It's very easy to do. And once that happens, we will begin now to create the needed character for that world. Because when we have the vision for world peace, it will show us the needed character. If you have a vision that you are traveling from London to Ghana or Ghana to London, and you have a good reason for arriving there, it gives you now the character. The character will tell you what tools you need to get there. I need to be a more caring person. I need to be a kind person. I need to be a giving person. I need to be, and these characters can be created. Today, we can even use technology. Many of the games we have on our computers and on our mobile phones require us to create avatars, image of ourselves that we will use to send our messages. What about if the image you have created of you is speaking of the character of care, love, joy, wisdom, teaching, counseling, and the qualities needed for you to participate effectively in the world of peace? Is that not possible? Now, when you send your avatar, such as Bitmoji, so when you have Bitmoji on your phone or whatever emojis you have, and you send your character avatar image, people seeing those avatars of you will be recognizing that, oh, Wale has a character of a joy and a character of wisdom. So they will be confirming it for you. So their soul force and their soul prayer will be promoting you and accepting. Where two or more agree, I am is in the midst of them. So the soul force of people will be agreeing with your character. Soon you will want to embody that character. So you are receiving spiritual input from other people who are saying yes to this character. So if I dress my avatar and the yellow color on my shoulder means care and the green color on the right shoulder means kindness, anyone who sees it knows that, oh, these are the qualities of this person. How wonderful will this be? We could even use this as our screensavers or as our wallpapers on our computers and on our phones. So we keep seeing ourselves. You know the magic of the Israelites. When Jacob had to part company with his uncle Laban, having served him for many years, there was a need to share their cattle and sheep. And the difficulty was, in what way do we do it? And then Jacob shared, Uncle, let us agree that all spotted and speckled sheep and cattle will be mine, and the rest will be yours from now on. Uncle said, that's cool. I agree. And that was because none of the, very few, if any at all, of the sheep and cattle were spotted and speckled. So the uncle agreed. But Jacob, knowing the law of the mind, got a rod, painted it spotted and speckled, and put it in the water that the sheep and the cattle drink from. And over time, they were now having more spotted and speckled. The uncle now said, you're having too many. I'm on the losing side. So now I will have the spotted and the speckled. Cool. He was a shepherd who took them to the field. So he only changed the rod and made it plain. And now they started having more of plain skin, sheep, and cattle. What I'm teaching here is that by making the sheep and the cattle focus on something, they soon started giving birth to it. So that if you have avatars that have become your screensavers, that have become your screensavers or your wallpaper on your phone and on your computers, and you are watching and looking at it constantly, soon you will begin to express it. So you give your inner character a voice, a form, something that represents it, and you keep looking at it, you will quickly manifest it. A magic I teach people when I teach them some of the laws of prosperity is for them to have a big mirror and write their names on it. And every morning you look at it and then you pronounce your name and tell you why you love you. So you see your name on the mirror, Brother Ishmael Ninyako Blitetete. I love you because of the kind gesture and doing this and that for Abina yesterday or this morning and so on. So you tell the very good things or the good reasons why you love you. It goes further to even write on the mirror, stand in a way that in the circle you write the qualities that describe you, such as I am healthy, I am rich, I'm loving, I'm caring, and stand in a way that you can see your face surrounded by these qualities. And start saying it every day, so you are looking at you and observing those qualities too. And soon people have transformation in their lives. So we can apply the same thing now. This time we are listing the character qualities, the characteristics that we must have that will engender us towards that world of peace that we have envisioned. So first, the vision must be very beautiful, very compelling, very enticing, and it can be a fun, it can now come out as games, as apps. Today, many of the apps our children play with are games of war. Sometimes you have to kill people, and you get grades for killing. These need to change. Now we can create apps that are exciting. That if you do this and you do that, your love energy becomes stronger, your caring energy becomes stronger. And as the caring energy becomes stronger, the color for that caring energy starts becoming brighter and brighter. It started from being dim, and now it's getting brighter and brighter till you are at the utmost brightest caring person, because of the work you have done in the game, which all men care. So all these can be easily created. As I'm speaking, you can see the possibilities are here. And what we need are the resources. I do not have the funds to employ the anthropologists, the storytellers, the psychologists, the educationists, and so on. You have the funds. Together we can make it happen. You know, the storytellers, for example, when they are telling the story of oneness, they can speak of how somebody decided to poison his neighbors or his neighboring villages' water, and went upstream and put poison in the water. But the upstream water flowed to all of the rivers, and then they also started suffering. Something like this. So we can create stories that show what it costs if we don't live in oneness, and what good it is when we live in oneness. We'll focus more on what good it is when we live in oneness. Occasionally there's a need to prompt somebody on the consequence as well, and we know that in their spiritual mind science. So as you can see, we can create emojis or avatars and so on, create games that are supporting a world of peace, where the quality of care, kindness, joy, wisdom, counseling, creativity are all promoted. Healing is promoted. Courage is promoted. And so on. So, all these will come together for us to create world peace. But let's talk about a holistic approach to world peace, because that's where the senses come in. So you now understand the first thing is what? Have a vision of world peace. Second, create a character for that world of peace, for that vision of peace. Once we have the vision of world peace, and it is appealing, it will naturally invite us to develop the necessary inner and outer tools to arrive there. If I'm going to Kumasi and there's an appealing reason for being in Kumasi, it will make me develop the necessary tools, the money, the bus, whether to go by plane or by transport, that is ground transport or whatever. All these will depend on that necessity for me to go to Kumasi. If it's very appealing, I will arrive there fast with the airplane. So now, let's talk about some holistic solutions. Some holistic solutions. Whenever there's an outbreak of an epidemic, a disease such as cholera, a comprehensive intervention program will include third level management, or let's say tertiary level management, and then secondary level management, and then primary level management. In the third level or tertiary management, this treats the patients who are already infected. And then in the secondary level management, this provides an intensive education and sensitization campaigns to educate the public on preventive methods. When we come to the root cause or primary level management, this addresses the root cause of the epidemic in the first place, which will lead to the removal of the effective disposal of waste and filth, so that there will not be the need for us even to go to the hospital in the first place. These are the three levels of interventions we do whenever there is an epidemic. When it comes to the very serious business of world peace, for which countries are paying their contributions to the United Nations to maintain peace, there is always only sketchy attention given to handling the emergencies in the war-torn places. I sometimes find it interesting when the war is not stopped, but the world is thinking of how to go and feed those in the country. So you are going to feed them to be killed. So the approach is not to dissolve the war completely, but it is, well, some people are trapped here, so they don't have food, so you are going to feed them so they have strength to participate in the war. Sometimes it just doesn't gel with my thinking. Maybe somebody has better explanation for me. So there's always limited world effort to teach about peace and the prevention. Have you heard of any school teaching about peace and the prevention of war conflicts? I believe obviously no. A few peace organizations have taken it upon themselves sometimes to do some courses for some schools, and it's very sketchy. So very few are really making any benefit. And again, even these peace organizations, I really will welcome them to partner with me so that we work together, because many of them have the best intentions, but I don't think many of them have found the real root cause. And since the intention is good, if anyone is listening to me in a peace group and you realize that the formula we are proposing in the peace manual is ideal, partner with us so that your highest intention will be realized. There are many peace organizations in the country, in this country alone. And sometimes I find it interesting that even the peace organizations in Ghana will not want to make time to come and meet with us to discuss peace. Some believe that to have peace is to provide water for the community. That is good. Some believe they have to provide good. That is also equally good. Well, Maslow's law of needs states that you have to get food, clothing, and shelter before you can think of self-actualization. Jesus taught something otherwise. He says, seek first self-actualization. He put it this way: seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything shall be added. And I go with Jesus. It all starts from within. Success starts from within. When the mind is changed, when the mindset is healed, the nation is healed. You don't heal us by feeding us with food, clothing, and shelter for us to have the right mindset. When you keep feeding us, we go into the state of beggars and we will be asking for more. And that is what many developing nations have become. They become beggars. And they've now developed beautiful names for begging. Instead of saying the people we go for money, they say our developing partners. Who must come and develop your country for you? In other words, the people who we go and beg money from to run our economy. And this must stop. This can stop only when we help develop the thinking of the people, so that we have thinkers and not what I call patterned reproductive thinkers. Often when you are in difficulty, you want to reproduce the knowledge of what you learned in school. You want to reproduce the knowledge of what your teachers, your parents told you. So there's no opportunity for fresh knowledge because you are going with education. Last Tuesday, I gave you my construct word. Education. Education is the knowledge that comes from outside to condition you. Education is the activation of your original knowledge system that connects you to the wisdom of the universe, and you birth original ideas, original creativity, original solutions to your life issues and problems. So it is good to attend to the tertiary, it is good to have to give tertiary provisions as well as secondary, but more important, we must also give primary solutions. What is needed is sustained educative programs that address the root causes that prevent the understanding that world peace is achievable. I believe from what you've heard from me, you already know and believe that world peace is possible. And you are willing to go to the website, worldpeaceinourlifetime.com, to download your own manual and to sign and agree that, wow, this manual has the world peace. If you're listening to me and you agree with me so far, then you've already gotten the manual in your soul. So you can just go and sign it. But download the manual and print it for yourself. Now, certainly research into the identification and removal of the root causes that inure to conflicts and war is very important. And for all the challenges at the United Nations, I know that the world situations would have been worse without the efforts of the United Nations. But now it is time for the United Nations and other organizations dedicated to world peace to adopt a more pragmatic approaches towards peace. And now is the time, not tomorrow. So when we hear of wars, rumors of wars, and so on, it is not for us to collapse into giving up into apathy. It is an invitation that we have to do something. It's an invitation that the methods we are using are not working and we need fresh new methods. And from Ethereum Mission, I'm only channeling the voice of God to you and telling you, here is the way. I am the voice of one crying in the wilderness of human consciousness and saying, prepare the way for the Lord. For every valley of ignorance shall be filled. The mountains of the confusions, the insurmountable impossibility pictures shall all be brought low. The rough ways shall be made smooth, and all flesh shall see the self-elevating beauty and music of peace. It is here with you now. So United Nations, the Commonwealth, and other peace-seeking organizations, when we hear of these rumors, it's not for us to enter into frustration. When we hear of the war, even if my child were to be killed in one of these crossfires, it will hurt me. I will cry. And in my cry, I will call for greater participation in peace. For peace. Towards peace. Deep within, check your soul. We have a deep desire to know that even if it is not well with us, it must be well with our children. Am I right? And that being so, meaning there's a deep call for you to leave a legacy of peace for your children. So there's no space and place for giving up. So I invite the UN that this peace manual comes as the needed intervention to call on individuals, organizations, and more importantly, the United Nations itself to spearhead the thought processes for generating solutions in the form of peace education and root cause healing processes and programs. And this is where I like to speak about some of the root cause processes and programs. So, just going back once again, now that you know the 3 types of interventions, I will now want to talk about the root cause program or process. Let me put it this way: schooling of the senses. So the third thing we need to do, or the third proposal of the peace manual, is the schooling of the senses. The first is a vision for world peace, a vision of world peace, and then the second is building the character for world peace. And the third is schooling the senses for world peace. Schooling the senses of sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing for world peace. Beloved, this sounds so simple. And you know, the problem of humanity is so simple. It's got nothing to do with the isms of communism, tribalism, racism, and all of the isms of capitalism, and so on. The problem we are to solve is so fundamental, it's so close to you that we are ignoring it. We learn how to eat well so that we will have great health. But no one teaches you how to even breathe well. We ignore it. You spend a lot of your time fighting for gold and diamond, but you can live your whole life without gold and diamond. You can live several days without food or water, but you can't live several minutes without breathing air. And because it's so commonplace, we ignore it. I'm using that as the metaphor for you to understand that the fundamental cause is so commonplace that we ignore it. We have not seen it because it is so, I mean, what must be the word? It is non-attacking. It is non-aggressive. It is so much with you that you are ignoring it. You see all things around you, but you don't see the tip of your own nostril. And the tip of your nostril is the closest place, or let me say the ridge of your nostril is the closest place to your eyes. But your eyes will not see here, the ridge, yet it's the closest to your eyes. Such it is that the root cause is so fundamental that we are not seeing it. The root cause is the senses. I mean, your sense of sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing. They are the primary forces in our psyche, in our soul, in our constitution that we need to educate, to school them. Somebody say I should say educate them. I say no, you have to what? School them. They need schooling. Systematic training over a period of time. A schooling of the senses for just 3 to 6 months will be enough to win a person into a vision of oneness and abundance. So now, let me tell you of the senses. The senses of sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing are what offends you. They are what offend you. It is what you see, smell, taste, touch, and hear that offends you. Am I right? So the senses. And each of the senses has got its own history. Thus, in the Ghana language, in Ghana, we have a saying that if you once been bitten by a snake, when you see an earthworm, you run away. Meaning, your sense of sight has got a history that this is a wriggling creature that bit me. So anything wriggling is equal to the wriggling creature that once bit me. So the sense of sight has got a history. So it is that the sense of hearing, smell, taste, and touch, as in texture, all of these senses have got their histories. And the senses see separation. And the senses see scarcity. The two dangers of the senses is that they see separation and they see scarcity, such that you cannot tell the senses that tomato and pepper are the same just because they all have the same color red. Sense of sight will tell you one is round and the other is oblong. Sense of taste will tell you one is sweet and the other is hot. And so it is that each of the senses will give their judgment. So senses see separation, such that you cannot tell the senses that the white man and the black man are all the same just because they are human beings who walk on 2 feet. Senses will see separation in skin color. And when we start seeing ourselves by our differences, by the variety, we start now creating groups against groups, color against color, ideology against ideology, belief system against belief system. And this is the root cause. But here is the secret. When we go outside religion and everything and just look into nature, nature teaches us that our lives depend on variety. You cannot be all eyes in the body. You cannot be all ears in the body. You have to have eyes, ears, nose, you have to have lungs, liver, and many organs come together. So your body itself is a variety energy system. Each system in your body is a complete knowledge system. The heart is a complete organ with its own wisdom and functioning. The liver has functioning totally different from the heart. The kidneys have functionings totally different from the liver and the kidney, and the shape of each of these are totally different. Yet, for the existence of the kidney, it needs the existence of the liver and the heart. And each organ in the body needs the other for its existence. So that if the heart were to say, I am the heart, I pump blood, and I want to live only for myself, it will die. Because it will not have the support system of the nostrils that will provide it with the oxygen. And everything is interconnected. So the variety makes us be able to live and to function. So life depends on variety. But the senses see the variety and it sees it groups the variety according to color, according to race, according to creed, according to belief, according to even language. Different tribes speak simply of different sounds. Language or words are simply pieces of sounds. Two or more people have agreed to mean something unto them. Why must we allow sound to separate us? You are Hausa and I'm Gan. Hausa is simply, words, sounds made by some 2-3 people who have agreed that this will mean something to us. When I was in secondary school, I created a language with my best friend, who happened also to be called Tete. And only the two of us speak. So when he will be standing with you and I came around and I spoke that language, he will do the action and you will wonder, what language is this? So then it means he and I, we become what? A tribe. When we have children and they speak that language, then we become many in that language. And the language, differences in the language becomes the reason for us to have separation. Senses see separation. And we need the separation. We need the varieties. Senses see separations in the varieties. And we need the varieties for our existence. So senses simply needs the schooling that for the survival of the senses alone, we need the varieties. And the senses will now begin to see the oneness that enlivens the variety upon which they survive. There is oneness that connects the variety. So all we need is the schooling of the senses. It is as simple as that. So when we school the senses to see oneness, and we need to give the senses such examples of varieties, such examples of oneness, why something is so, then the senses will say, yes, this is so. And let me share with you some of the pieces that came out of the Malawi students who did some game on world peace today. These are some of the things they wrote. World peace, a world of peace, a world without theft, because everyone is realized with what they have. I believe everyone is comfortable with what they have. And when we are actually teaching them, this is the first experiment they were having. When you are having a world without theft, what is that like? In the real education and practice, they should have rather written the world they will have without theft. But this is good for a beginning. We allow it for them to come out with this, and then we go to the next level. So the world without theft, what is that like? Another person wrote, a world full of love, that there's no reason for war. When there's no reason for war, what reasons do we have? So it can be a world full of love where we have reasons to bring out the best out of one another. The third, another one says, a world that has peaceful relationships. Is just repeating the word. When then a food secured world, Maslow law, we need food, clothing, and shelter. But this is so wonderful that they've started now thinking of it. Maybe all through their lives, they've never had anybody to give them the opportunity to think of what does a world of peace look like. And then, as I've said, the senses see separation. So we need to school the senses to oneness. For example, we can educate the senses to realize that the white man, the black man, the red skin, the yellow skin man, we all have different shapes of nostrils. We all have different shapes of nostrils or noses, but we are all breathing the same air. So what animates me as a black man or a man of color, the white man, the yellow skin man, the red man, or whatever color man, is the same air. Whether you are a Muslim, a Christian, a Hindu, a Buddhist, these are the labels we have put on ourselves. We have labeled ourselves according to our skin color, according to our language, but we are all animated by the same life force in the air. So when the census begin to realize that, true, because the census work on facts and history, so that if we can have enough facts and history for the census to focus on that there is oneness, we are one because of this, because of that, because of that, and you get the census to agree and agree and agree, the census will now begin to appreciate the sharing of variety, the sharing of variety that makes us grow to become more for ourselves. Because variety means creativity. For the phone you are holding in your hand, if I'll tell you the number of people who started building it, you will not believe. More than maybe 7 billion people started creating the phone you are holding, starting from your great ancestors. And also, even the vision of future children, future generations, all came together for the creation of the mobile phone you are holding. So the world came together for the phone you are holding. So we are one. The world came together. Your phone has got gold plates, which probably in Ghana. It's got some iron, which were probably dug in Cameroon. It's got some rubber, which probably came from India. And we can go on and on and on. And then somebody thinking about what to do in Japan. And then somebody assembling it in America. And then somebody shipping what he has manufactured, the chips from America to China for final assembly. And so on. So the phone you are holding alone, whether you are by a computer or you are holding the phone or any technology you hold, the magic in science and medicine, all these have come by the coming together of billions of people predating history. So all we need is to school the senses to oneness. And here are some of the information that we got from the Malawi students today. They say, we are under the same lecturer. We are one. So that alone tells us one lecturer is teaching all of us. Everybody in the room, we may look different from one another, but we are all receiving education from the same lecturer. Another one said, we have the same body morphology. We are one. And that is true. If we can teach that we have the same body morphology. The third one says, we are under the same sky. We are one. Is that not true? So when we bring all these to the senses, and we have listed a few, and I will encourage you to send us a few more. We all cover our bodies with the same material. We are one. Everybody has got skin. We all have the same 24 hours. We are one. So it continues and continues. So the senses see separation. And we need to school the senses to see the oneness that animates the variety. Life or God gave us variety for our celebration. And now we are using variety for our destruction. That is just what is happening. So this is where I invite you to download the Peace Manual. And I've given a few other keys in that manual of the reasons why we are one. Reasons why we are one. We can also school the senses to see abundance. There are times you will not have enough food to eat. But it does not mean that the resources of the world has gone low. Today, there are countries that have got food bank that may probably be even going rotten. And lack of anything in your life is just the misuse of your thinking. But if we check life, there are the people who have and those who don't have. Those who have and those who don't have. And those who don't have, you always keep thinking in terms of I am poor, I'm lacking, there's not enough to go around. And those who have are also afraid, let me have more in case I lose some of what I have. So the haves do not have. And those who do not have do not have. So there's a sense of scarcity. And sometimes we blow the sense of scarcity so much that it looks like the world is in an abject state of deprivation. I want to welcome you to reschool your senses to see abundance. The rich man and the poor man, The man who has plenty to eat and the man who has not got enough to eat. They are all having access to the same resources. They are having access to the sunlight, the water, and the air. And they are all having these accesses in abundance. You are walking on the same earth that the rich man and the poor man is walking on. So there is abundance. And there's abundance of earth. There's abundance of earth. And the earth has never said it will no more produce food. It has reason for some areas to be desert so that we can dig oil. And some areas to be forest so we can plant food. It has planned it all for us. And we need to learn how it has planned itself and how we can live in harmony with it. So there's abundant land. So tell your senses there's abundant land. So there is abundance. There's abundant sunlight, so there is abundance. There's abundant number of people in the world, so there is abundance. There's no depletion of knowledge. The knowledge you don't have, somebody has it and is willing to share it with you. There's abundance of leaves, so there is abundance. And some of the leaves fall down and they become manure. There are abundant thoughts, ideas, and visions, so there is abundance. Thoughts, ideas, visions. Some have not been seen. Some abundant ideas, thoughts, and visions may surface maybe in under 100 years to come. Life is waiting for you to express its abundance through you. There are abundant microorganisms and insects, so there is abundance. There is abundance. The state of lack and limitation is only a sense. It is not true. So the senses see separation. And it is only a sense of separation. It is not the reality. So we have to school the senses to see the reality of the oneness that is and of the abundance that is. And when we do this, and they give us so many more, and if I'll talk about all of them, we will not finish, but I believe I'll continue this next Tuesday. So we can talk about some of the tertiary intervention. Because right now, I've now taken us through the 3 stages, or the 3 things we will need. That is, creating a vision of world peace, building the character of world peace, and schooling the senses for world peace. Now you understand these 3. I've also explained to you the 3 interventions that we need in life, and the 3 interventions we normally use, which are the tertiary intervention, then the secondary intervention, and the primary intervention. And among the primary intervention is for us to address the root cause of the epidemic. And now you have heard how to address the root cause. We are dealing with just the forces. You go to the shop, you know exactly what you wanted to buy. You ended up buying something else. Do you know what happened? The senses told you to buy something else. Are you a slave of the senses? Many people are slaves of the senses because we have not been taught how to take charge. If I'll go deeper, I'll let you know that we need what we call nature-based education. Programs that will give us objective evidences to the senses to appreciate the underlying oneness within all appearing varieties, and to appreciate the infinite nature of life's resources, that there is abundance. Beloved, I will carry on with this, so we can now study some tertiary materials that you've gotten all of the 3. Create a vision of world peace. We need a global vision of world peace. It starts with you creating a vision of world peace for yourself. What is the world that you want to experience? What is the you that you want to experience? What is the family that you want to have? What is the church that you want to have? What is the nation that you want to have? What is the community that you want to have? What does it look like? What must be your character and your action character to make it happen? And then school your senses. I've only touched the tip of the iceberg for you to know how or what we need to do. So we need to go through this, and it's so simple for us to begin to school the senses. So, beloved, I would like to possibly round off here and trust that you come with your questions and your contributions. If you now see, feel, and believe world peace is possible with these three things: creation of vision of world peace. How can we as a people, this world, who are you, human beings, how can we be praying for peace and yet we have never sat down to ask ourselves, what does a world of peace look like and what are we to do? Why is it that no one is thinking this way? We are only touching the surfaces. I'm inviting peace organizations to partner with me. So we form a very big voice. We share our resources. I'm willing to share all of the knowledge. If you want to make a huge change on the planet, here is your opportunity through this program. If you have all of the money and the resources and you want to make a change, I want to tell you that it's good to feed people's bodies, but it's better to feed their souls. And if you want to live, I want to encourage you that empty your pockets into your mind. Surrender your mind into your spirit. Your spirit will nourish your mind to provide for your pockets so you can have everything you want. So somebody out there, empty your pocket now to this cause. Get up and support this cause. Empty your pockets into your mind. Let your mind be surrendered to your spirit. Your spirit will tell you what you need to do, how to partner with us, with the resources you have for us to birth world peace. The urgency for world peace has no space for human selfishness. It has no space for how do we call it? Copyright. This material, download it, and you may share it with anybody and only give credit to the source. That's all. So that we can get unified voice here for us to move the world forward. Because the other tools and the ways to go about it is all bursting in my soul. I'm recording this. I am writing this. I'm doing all I can to make the knowledge available. My work for the planet is done. And I want to tell you, if today I exit this body, I'm exiting in great joy. I feel fulfilled and accomplished. I have found the cause to human inner conflicts and confusions that lead to war, and I have provided the solution. Tell me if it is not so. Tell me if it is not true. Thank you for participating. And right now, you may now log on to World Peace in Our Lifetime. You can also go to our YouTube page, World Peace in Our Lifetime. In the next week, we are going to have many educational videos on it. Also on our Facebook page, World Peace in Our Lifetime. It's all about world peace in our lifetime. And I've proven to you that it is possible because it is already here with us in you. It's right now in you. It's knocking, crying to make its voice be heard through you. The confusions you are going through right now is because you are not allowing the peace that is crying in you to emerge. Thank you for listening. Peace.